Been prayed on my downfall by many
TC
men.
family, what's
Oh
up?
Lord, I thank you for not giving in.
How we doing? How we feeling? How are we feeling? Good. I'm super excited about today's conversation, and my conversation is all about being in purpose. And leading up to this conversation, I was thinking, like, how does purpose relate to being in? Why is purpose so important? Well, in reality, where there is no purpose, there is no being. Where there is no purpose, there is no being. Purpose precedes being. I know that's a big statement, so give me some time to make my case. So Steve says that being is the seed that produces the fruits of your life, and that is very true. And if being is the seed that produces the fruits of your life, then purpose would be the unconscious or conscious reason that you're choosing that seed. So if you don't know what your purpose is, then how do you know that the thing you're orienting your being to is actually in alignment with the reason that God created you for? See, all creation, it actually follows purpose. There's nothing in this world that has been created without having an original purpose for its creation. So we say, who do I need to be in order to create a $1 million company? Who do I need to be in order to create a global business? Who do I need to be in order to create these things? But again, if you don't know what the Creator created you for, then how do you know the things that you're creating is in alignment with that God has for you? Another way to say it is, can you be being some way to obtain something that is actually not for you? So you're in alignment with the thing that you want to obtain, but you're not in alignment with the reason that God created you for. And that creates a misalignment. You see, when I think about misalignment and the impact, one of the biggest impacts as it shows up in people's life is an over-prioritization on finances and an under-prioritization on fulfillment. And that's what purpose is. It's the fulfillment of things. So you focus on more getting paid than more the fulfillment of your purpose. So it can show up as a hyper-successful person who has the finances. They have all the things externally, but they're still unfulfilled internally. Because the thing that is missing can only come from your purpose. But I know that's not us in this room, right? But it shows up as the sneaky coach or the sneaky facilitator, or the sneaky healer. That you started off doing this because of your purpose, but along the way, it became more about getting paid. You don't have to raise your hand. It's the person behind you, it's not you. So if the person's not paying the 10K, 20K, 30K, then you're not fulfilling on your purpose. Sometimes you can even get so sneaky that the person doesn't have the money. You say, hey, listen, how about I coach you and I'll help you create the money, then you can pay me. But if the only time you're fulfilling on your purpose is when you're getting paid, then you actually start pimping your purpose. At any given time, all of us have become a pimp to our purpose. I hope this client closes. I need this money. Money's getting short, and you hope that the person you're talking to has the finance. You're just waiting to see if they have the money to pay you. Again, it's the person behind you. It's not you, I know. But see, purpose is giving yourself fully to something without anticipating something giving it back to you. When was the last time you gave yourself fully to something, gave away your gift? You know, the beginning of this year, I was like, God, what is it that you want me to do this year? Like, what is it that you have for me? And, you know, when we think about 10% and giving God 10%, a lot of times we think about it in the construct of finances, but God never said just give your finances 10%. God said everything 10%. Your gift, your purpose, your words, your energy, your time. And I said, where am I giving my purpose 10%? Am I giving it to the people who never would be able to pay me? And I'm not talking about doing a good deed for somebody that I come past. I'm talking about servicing one person as if they paid my highest price. I'm so happy that somebody in their life gave themselves fully to me, because it was because of that person that I am where I am today. So I want to tell you this quick story that, when I was 23 years old, I started diving into personal development. And I started going to personal development events and all these seminars and everything. And started going to a lot of Tony Robbins events. And then by like the third or fourth event, people are kind of knowing me. They're kind of knowing my story. And I'm kind of meeting a lot more people. And I remember I'm at this one event, and this guy named Jonathan Cardoza. Do you guys have like those people in your life who's been like hidden angels? Who's like in the forefront, you would never know them. And nobody will ever see them, but in the background, they're the ones like orchestrating everything. That's Jonathan Cardoza to me. He's been like an angel. And I remember running into him at this event. He said, hey, listen, there's somebody that I want to introduce you to. He said he speaks on Tony's stage about business. He runs like a $50, $100 million venture firm. I think he'll be a great mentor to you. His name is JC. He said, so I want to introduce you to this guy named JC. I said, oh, great. So we go to the booth, and he said, I think JC would be at the booth. So we go to the booth, and we look for JC, and we can't find him. He's calling him. He's texting JC, and we can't find him. But Jonathan had to go back to doing what he was doing. So he said, I know I wasn't able to find him right now, but I have no doubt that you'll end up meeting him. The universe always has a way of conspiring in your favor. And he left. So at events like this, I always tell people that you're one handshake away from completely changing the course of your life. Like you're one handshake away. I want you to understand that. You're one handshake away from completely changing the trajectory of your life. So during events like this, I will go down to the front of the room, because that's where the people typically pay the most money. So that means they got the most money. So when I was looking for a mentor, I'm 23 years old, I want to go to the front. They were paying $100, $150K to sit at the front. I said, I got to talk to these people. I don't even know somebody that makes that much, let alone paying for a seat. So I go down to the front and I introduce myself. Hello, my name is Kusudi. I'm 23 years old. I'm starting this new journey of my life. If there's one piece of advice you could give me, what would it be? And they'll give me a piece of advice. And then I go to the next person. Hello, my name is Kusudi. I'm 23 years old. I'm starting this new chapter of my life. If there's one piece of advice you could give me, what would it be? So I made it to this third guy, and I introduced myself. But like the whole time, he's like not looking at me. So I said, there's one piece of advice you could give me, what would it be? And because he's not looking at me, I think he really doesn't care. But he stops and he said, hey, so tell me, what do you mean this new journey of your life? But he's not looking at me. Have you ever was telling somebody a story and you were super invested, but they didn't seem invested, so you just quickly sped up and told the story just to get through the awkward moment? Who's been there before, right? So I kind of did one of those things. I was like, I'm not going to take my time with this because he don't care. So let me just hurry up and tell it. I said, sir, well, I'm starting this new journey of my life. He said, so what do you mean this new journey of your life? I said, well, I come from a household with a single mother, 2 brothers. I didn't grow up with my father. And because of that, I looked for myself in the streets. When I was 16 years old, I went to juvenile for a pistol and bulletproof vest. When I was 18 years old, I got shot in my head. A bullet went in on one side and came out the other. Between 19 and 21, I was in and out of jail. Until I was 21 years old, I was downtown Indianapolis, had open cases in 4 different counties, lost over 6 figures, and was facing up to 10 years in prison. I didn't know what I wanted to do with my life, but I knew that I wanted better. So when I got out of jail, I committed myself to personal development, and that's what brought me to this event. I'm starting this new journey of my life. If there's one piece of advice you could give me, what would it be? And he put his hand on my shoulder and just froze. But he still wasn't looking at me. He said, this is the most phenomenal story I've ever heard. And I'm confused. I'm like, you're not looking at me, dude. You ever looked at me one time? What are you talking about? So he says, where are you from? And I said, well, I'm from Indianapolis. Where are you from? He said, I'm from New Jersey. I said, oh, I actually have a speaking engagement in New Jersey on Friday. He said, no way. My annual Christmas party is on Friday. He said, why don't you come to my Christmas party? You have a tuxedo? I was broke as hell. I didn't have a tuxedo. But I'm like, yeah, I'll get a tuxedo. He's like, come to my Christmas party. I was like, all right, cool. And he gave me his number, and I'm confused. He wasn't looking at me the whole time. He still wasn't. I later found out that he was legally blind. And the way he was looking at me was through his peripherals. Isn't that interesting how we create thoughts and make ourselves feel so small based off of how we're perceiving something else that is not real? Questioning our thoughts, right? So I text my homie that was in the streets. I said, yo, listen, bro, this event is going great. He said, it's going great. I said, yeah. I said, I just got invited to this fancy-ass Christmas party. I said, let me hold a couple hundred to get a suit. So he sent me some money, and the next week I went and got a tuxedo, and I made it to this Christmas party. So I'm at this Christmas party, and it wasn't just a Christmas party. I mean, this was like the Great Gatsby of Christmas events. I mean, the guy was like the top lawyer in the nation. They got the top people in the age. People are hanging from the ceilings. People are walking on stilts. He has midgets dressed up as elves running away. I'm like, this was like the literal Great Gatsby of Christmas parties. And I just feel like a fish out of water. So I'm just sitting down observing this scenery, this environment. I'm like, I've never manufactured snow. I'm like, it's crazy, right? And I'm sitting there, and I'm kind of just looking at things. And I see this guy walk in. The guy walks in. He has a fitted hat, a vest, some jeans, and some sneakers. Everybody else is in tuxedos and just in clothes and things that are nice. He has on jeans and sneakers. I'm like, I don't know who this guy is, but he must be important. Because you can't be the plus one walking in with sneakers and jeans. Like, you got to be somebody of importance. So this guy walks in, he has earplugs in. I'm kind of looking at him. I'm curious, like, who is this guy? I see him looking around, and I see him look at me. And he pulls out his phone, and he looks at his phone, and he looks at me. I'm kind of looking at him, like, why are you looking at me? And what's on that phone you looking at? But he starts walking closer, and the more closer he gets, he's looking at the phone, he looks at me. He's looking at the phone, he's looking at me. He's looking at the phone, he looks at me. And he comes up to me, he said, are you Kusudi? I said, yeah. He said, I'm JC. He said, here, why don't you come out to the lobby and let's talk because it's loud. So we go in this lobby, and, people are just kind of walking back and forth, and we're sitting at this table. He said, I've heard a lot about you, so, tell me about yourself. I said, well, sir, I grew up in a household with a single mother. I didn't have my father. Early in my life, I got involved in the streets. When I was 16 years old, I went to juvenile for a pistol and bulletproof vest. When I was 18 years old, I got shot in my head. Bullet went on one side, came out the other. Between 19 and 21, I was in and out of jail. And after I got out of jail, I committed myself to personal development, and I discovered my purpose. I want to help the world do the same. He said, that's the most impactful story I've ever heard. He said, I want you to do a favor and close your eyes real quick. And we're in this middle of this lobby. People are walking back and forth, music blasting. He said, but close your eyes real quick. So I closed my eyes. And he said, I want you to imagine that in front of you is the canvas of your life. And it's a blank canvas. And you could paint this canvas any way that you see fit. What is it that you'll want the canvas of your life to look like? And I started thinking, and I was like, man, I want to be helping people, and I want to be speaking on stages, and, I want to just be facilitating people, traveling around this world, helping people discover their purpose, building businesses. And I'm telling him my vision. He said, okay, that's all great. He said, well, if you had to learn one thing now in order to start that, what is it that you'll want to learn? I said, well, I'm great at helping people discover their purpose, but I really don't know a lot about business. I said, so I want to learn business. He said, well, if you want to learn business, why don't you come out to New York, live with me, my wife, and my 7-year-old daughter, and I'll teach you everything you need to know about business. Everything inside of me just shattered. Tears start rolling, but I'm trying to wipe them off. I called my mom. I'm like, Mom, my life would never be the same. I promise you. I'm figuring it out. And this man, he didn't see me as an opportunity for finances. He saw me as an opportunity to fulfill his purpose. A month later, I'm living at his house with him, his wife, and his 7-year-old daughter. And he started teaching me everything that he knew about business. Again, when was the last time you gave your purpose fully to something? See, he didn't just give me a tip and give me a piece of advice like everybody else did. He poured himself into me as if I was the person that had millions of dollars to invest. So over this next year, he started teaching me about business. He started teaching me about the powers of story. He started teaching me about startups and how ideas create this world, and people will give you money based off of ideas. I mean, he opened me up to a wide range of things I had no idea. The first month being there, I said, sir, well, technically, I'm not supposed to be here. I'm still on probation. I'm not even supposed to be out of Indianapolis. He said, well, you've been going to the Tony Robbins events. Like, you're allowed to be there? I said, no. I said, every day they text me and tell me if I have to come down and take a drug test the next morning. And if they would have texted me, I would have had to hurry up and go back to Indianapolis. He said, well, let's see what we could do about that. He said, put me in contact with your lawyer. So him and my lawyer talked, and he got a bunch of people to write letters of recommendation. He wrote a letter of recommendation to the judge. And when we submitted his letter of recommendation to the judge let me off within 24 hours of getting it. I didn't even have to go to court. Yeah. My lawyer called. He said, I've never seen anything like this before. I had 2 years left, and they let me off within 24 hours. So he spent that year teaching me about business, and I had a T-shirt that says, my purpose is. And, I had ideas that I wanted to help people discover their purpose, but there's some people that come into your life to help you expand your vision. And he helped me expand my vision and think about all the ways in which we could do it. And then we started a company called Soul Purpose. And with that company, he taught me about raising capital, and he helped me raise $1 million for this business. And we ended up launching this global campaign, this global movement. Can you play the video? People always assume that the turning point of my life was a bullet through the head. But in the world I lived in, getting shot, going to jail, those are just the cost of doing business. You see, the thing is, I'm the same guy I was back then. I didn't wake up one morning transformed. It was a long journey, step by step by step. A path I'm still walking to this day. I hustle just as hard today as I did when I was dealing. I like the same foods. I laugh at the same things. I still have the same success aspirations. But there's one big difference. Now I have a purpose. A purpose that's bigger than making money. A purpose that's bigger than me. A purpose that's led from a jail cell in a hospital bed to speaking across the country, giving back to the community, and now being a CEO of my own company. A purpose that's taken me nationwide to rub shoulders with innovators and entrepreneurs and connect with thousands of people I could have never hoped to meet otherwise. And it's purpose itself that gives me purpose. To find it, to feel it, to reveal it, to unlock it in everyone I meet. I realize that everyone has a purpose. The problem is, most people have never been asked what it is. And you can never know the answer to a question you've never been asked. And that's why I created this brand, to change that narrative. You see, the world needs this conversation now more than ever. We're seeing people come together, support each other, rally behind a cause, and stand for what they believe in and the difference they want to see made in this world. And at the core of it, that's what purpose is all about. And the more of us that walk in purpose, the more we can change the world. 8 billion people united and 8 billion reasons to be. It's been an amazing journey, and yes, I'll share with you the stories along the way. But for now, walk with me, and together we'll discover what's your purpose. Thank you. Thank you. It was interesting. I remember the first time I had my session with Steve Hardison, and I showed him that video, and that was the first time I heard the ending the way that I did. 8 billion people united and 8 billion reasons to be. So the reason, the purpose is the most important. And JC, he helped me start this company, and we created a global movement, and he'll be on stages, at Tony Robbins in front of 15,000 people, and he'll have me stand up, and he'll say, because of you, Kusudi, I discovered my purpose. And in front of 10,000 people, they'll clap for me. So now I get the chance to return their favor. So JC's in the back, and I want to tell you, can we give a warm round of applause for JC? And JC, I might have been the reason to help you discover your purpose, but because of you, you helped me show how I can expand my purpose in this world. So I want to thank you for everything that you did, bringing me into your life, bringing me into your home, and helping me create this global narrative, man. And I look forward to making a difference together. So thank you so much, JC. So I used to study, and still do, study great people. And when you're studying great people, they never say that they have a job to be done. They always say that there's work to be done. Like if you look at Jesus and Gandhi and all these great people, they always said that there's work to be done. They never mentioned a job. And when I started looking at words and what does it mean, if you Google the definition of a job, it's anything that you do for monetary exchange. So if you're doing what you're doing just for monetary exchange, that's a job. I don't care if you're an entrepreneur that has a business. If you're doing it only for the money, that's a job. But if you look at the definition of work, it says mental, physical, and I like to add spiritual activity that you do in order to achieve a purpose. Yeah, it's a job, it's things you do for monetary exchange. Work is mental, physical, and I like to add spiritual activity in order to achieve a purpose. So if it's not achieving your purpose, then you're not in your work. You're just doing a job. You could be coaching and you're still doing a job. See, when you think about a job, that's what you get paid to do. Your work, your purpose is what you were created to do. Your job is what is it that you do for finances. Regardless if you're an athlete, entrepreneur, it doesn't matter. That's what you do for finances. Your work is what you do for fulfillment. Your job could be here and somebody could actually take it away, but nobody can ever take away your work, your purpose. Who is it that you are? So a few months ago, I was sharing all this with Judy, and she said, listen, you got to come up here and you got to share this. And what's beautiful about manifestation, his backstory is a year ago, prior to the last Ultimate Coach event, I was with Elijah gearing up for that. And he was like, man, you should share this. And I was like, nah, that's not the place right now. And last night he was like, man, isn't that amazing that a year ago we planted those seeds and look how it's manifested? So in the spirit of reigniting this movement and reigniting this energy, as I'll be committing the rest of my life to helping people discover their purpose, there's no better way to re-kick that off than to help people discover their purpose here. So I want to walk you guys through an exercise on how to discover your purpose. It doesn't matter who you are in this world. We did this with literally thousands of people all around this world, from India, Africa, kids, colleges. I just spoke at a high school yesterday, speak at another one in a couple of days. If you don't know your purpose, you'll get clarity in your purpose within these 3 questions. And see, there's a difference of saying, my purpose is to heal or my purpose is to help. That's too general. And your purpose is not to be a father. Your purpose is not to be a mother. Those are ways in which you fulfill on your purpose, but that's not your purpose. But if anything that you're doing, you look at your purpose as that, then the moment you're not doing that anymore, then who are you? So you're more than a parent. You're more than a CEO. You're more than a husband. There's a deeper calling in your life. So I want to help somebody discover their purpose. I know we're in a room full of coaches. And just because they raise their hand, that does not mean they need coaching later on. Who needs help discovering their purpose? Come here. Come up here, please. Clap for her. Give it up, give it up, give it up. Can we get a microphone? Can we get a microphone for her? Hello, hello, what's your name?
I'm Brenda.
Brenda Kusudi. Nice to meet you, Brenda. Thank you so much for coming up. Let's get you a microphone real quick. I have to give that disclaimer. Just because they raise their hand, I'm just playing. Hey, so I saw you raise your hand. Okay. So you don't know what your purpose is that correct?
Nope.
Do you have like an idea or you just like completely lost?
I love personal development.
Okay.
I'm a junkie. I do everything. Tony Robbins, I mean, his work is amazing.
Yeah.
You all are amazing.
Perfect. So if every job in this world paid the exact same amount of money and you had to clock in and do something, but you could do anything in this world. You could be a doctor, a physician, you could work with kids, work with elderly, but you had to clock in to do something. What is it that you want to do? What's the first thing that comes to mind?
I want to be fulfilled. I want to have a purpose as grand as yours. Maybe it doesn't have to be as grand as yours. Giving back, being fulfilled.
Okay, so think about it as a job. If you had to clock in to do something, what is it that you want?
I'm creative. I love working with flowers, garden, DIY, helping others, inspiring people.
Okay, so kind of DIY creating things. And what inspires you about that?
I'm good at it.
Okay.
It's fun. It's,
Okay.
yeah.
And the people that you want to inspire and create these things for, what is the difference you want to make in their lives?
Bringing joy, creating happiness.
Yeah. And if you brought that joy and you helped them create that happiness, what would that make available in their lives in order for them to do what?
To help them believe that there's more to life than just work, that there's something that they can do every day that brings happiness. We should have happiness and joy in our days, every day.
That's beautiful. Clap it up for that. Clap it up for that. So tell me, what's your purpose?
I need to create joy in my life every day
Yeah, so she's
and
like,
share it with others.
that's what I'm up here for. What are you asking me that question for, right? But I'm like, if every job in the world put this saying, what is it that you want to do? She's like, I just want to create things, gardening and creating, do it yourself. DIY, okay, DIY. All right, we on track. You know, I kind of got the letters confused a little bit. DIY, okay. I said, what inspires you about that? She said, I just love the helping. And what is the difference you want to make? You said, I want to create joy and happiness to make people believe that there's more than life than what they're currently going through or what they're currently having. So that's purpose. So let's play around with the words. My purpose is to create joy and happiness in others' lives to make them believe that there's more than life or to open up their mind to know that it's more. Like kind of what is the wording that feels right for you?
Where's Chat GPT, please?
We right here. You got Kusudi GPT. So,
okay, great.
So to create joy, my purpose is to create joy and happiness in people's lives so they know that there's more than life.
No settling. No settling. Be all you can be.
Okay.
Know that you can just be more.
Okay, so to create joy and happiness so people know that they could be more?
They don't have to be more. They just joy, happiness, no settling. Go for everything they would ever want.
Okay, so let's hone in on the word. See, this is very brilliant, right? And see, this is where most people get to, is that they have the wording, but we want your purpose statement. Because the more that you could claim it is the more that you can intentionally live in it, right? So let's hone in on what that statement could look like. So my purpose is to create joy and happiness in this world. It could be as simple as that. To create joy and happiness so people know that they could be more. Like kind of what feels right for you. Play with the wording with me. Like try it out. My purpose is
to show people that joy is important. That's boring.
Yeah, nah, you ain't feel that one.
No, I'm not feeling that.
Okay, so my purpose is...
Help me.
So,
Give me
so
some.
follow me. My purpose is
My purpose is
create
to
joy
create
and
happiness.
So people know that they could be more.
Life is so much, there's so much life to be lived. We should be creating joy in our life every single day, every single minute.
So why don't we just try it in order to create joy and happiness? My purpose is to create joy and happiness.
My purpose is to create joy and happiness.
How does that feel?
Okay.
Okay? So tell me what do you make it feel, what would make it feel a little stronger for you? See, this is where we got to do this together. Because I may have words, but you got to feel the words.
Right, I get it.
So it's about the words that resonate with you more than anything else in this world. So to create...
My purpose is to show you that there is more to life than what you're doing. Can you feel it? Can you find the joy, the love, the thing that's going to make you get out of bed today, right now?
My purpose is to show you that there's more than life than what you're doing. Say that again.
My purpose is to show you that there's more to life than what you're doing.
Does that feel right?
It's better.
Okay, we get it there. Okay, clap it up. Give her some energy real quick. We're getting there. Okay. You kind of stepping into that one. I like it. Okay, we working through it. As we're working through it, I want you guys to be thinking about this for yourself as well, because this is the process, right? So we have about 12 minutes left, and this 12 minutes is going to be spent. I want you guys to hone in on your purpose statement. If you go to your pamphlet in the manual and go to the page of my page, I guess, then you will see the 3 questions you could be working through this. But this is the process that you're going to work through for yourself, right? So we're getting there. So my purpose is to show you. So what is it that you just said again?
My purpose is to show you that there's more to life worth living than what you're currently doing.
Okay.
My purpose is to show you that there's more to life than what you're doing.
Okay, so so you had the joy and happiness. Do you want to get rid of that? Just completely rid of it? Or my purpose is to create. My purpose is to share joy and happiness that allows people to believe that there's more than life than what they're currently doing.
That's a lot of words. I want it to be simplified. Short chat GPT.
Okay, someone's like, yes. So do you like that? I love this.
Yeah.
You see, everybody's like, empower. This is what happens when you're in a room full of coaches.
Yeah,
right?
I love it. I'm in. I'm here. I'm open.
Okay, so do you like the create joy and happiness part? Do you want to completely get rid of that part? Or does that resonate? So joy. Okay, my purpose is to spread joy that allows people to believe that
My purpose
there's
is
more
to
than
spread joy and show you that what you're showing
Woo!
you.
Hold on, keep going.
Life is worth living. Get up and move. Let's go.
Okay, my purpose is to spread joy that shows you that there's more to life worth living. Okay, so try that.
My purpose is to spread joy and show you that life is so worth living. Let's go.
How does that feel?
Better.
Better? All right.
It needs to be short. I like short.
Shorter?
Simplicity is good for me.
She's like, my purpose is spread joy. That's it. Like, it's do you want it just to be that? That could be. It's what feels right to you. There's no right or wrong in this. And that's the beautiful thing, guys, is there's no right or wrong. It doesn't have to be this long poetic thing. It just wants to be the thing that when you say it, you feel it and it embodies it. Because then we could create from there, right? Yeah. So right now, the shortest version we have is my purpose is to spread joy that shows people there's more to life that's worth living.
My purpose is to spread joy. Are you living that? Something like that?
So, see, I think this is what you're doing.
Okay.
Is you say it, you feel it, but then you look for the reactions of other people.
Okay.
And you're waiting to see if they feel it like you feel it, but they can never feel it unless you feel it.
Okay, that's true.
No, it's coming from you. This is an inside out, not an outside in.
I get it.
Right? You want to be so confident. See, listen, I'm going to show you. My purpose is to inspire billions of people to discover and live in their purpose. I'm not like, damn, maybe that's not the right one. Hold on real quick. Let me try that. Like, no, it's who I am. But when I embody it, then it translates to them as well. So convince them. Don't let them convince you.
Got it. Love it.
So my purpose is to spread joy that shows people there's more to life worth living. DIY, do it yourself. Oh, I like that. So you got to do it yourself. You like DIY, so now it's time.
I love DIY.
Okay, so try. My purpose is to. Go ahead, JC.
My purpose is to inspire 1,000.
I love that. So my purpose is to spread joy that shows people there's more to life than worth living. Why don't you try that one? Okay, so which feels right?
My purpose is to live a life full of joy. Are you living your life that way?
How does that feel?
It's not. It's still too long.
You're waiting for people. So this is what I want you to do is I want you to sit down and I want you to hone in on it. Stop looking. That's a great step. Let's stop looking at them, right? Because the thing that you say, it has to be something that you embody, right?
I feel that, right?
So it's joy for you. Is that what we're keeping is joy?
Yeah.
Okay, so to spread joy, right? And do you still like that in order to show people that there's more to life, or that's too long?
It's still long, something shorter than that.
To spread joy that opens people up to possibility, that opens people life to that they can have more, there's more to life. To spread joy that shows people there's more to life.
I'm feeling like I need to sit down and just like.
Okay. So
Yeah, I don't settle, so.
So here's what I want you to do is, I want you to take the wording that you said and keep playing around with these phrases, but I want you just to write the phrases down. This is for everybody out there as well, right? Because you're going to be going through this. I want you to write the phrases down, and when you're looking at the phrases, you can start kind of taking something out and implementing something else. Like, oh, I like joy, and I like helping people, but no, this is too long, and you can start playing with it. So you have the wording, but you have to have the statement.
Yeah.
You want a repeatable statement because repetition ingrains it, and the more you can live in it, okay? Does that make sense?
Yep.
Thank you so much. You're amazing. Give a clap for her. You're more than welcome. Let me see the microphone, please. I have time, 6 minutes for one more. Somebody else come up. And this is what I want you guys to do is in the back, there is a My Purpose Is banner. So once you have on your purpose statement honed in, I want you to go right in your banner. And you can literally do that right now. So I just want to help one more person in 6 minutes. Somebody else? Blue shirt, I saw you raise your hand. And for everybody else that knows their purpose, you could go to the back and start writing in what your purpose is. Hello.
Hello.
What's your name? Annie?
My name is Anne Marie.
Anne Marie.
It's on. Can you hear me? There we go. Yeah.
I knew it
Here,
was
let's
something.
come on in for our photo.
Look
here.
at
Someone
that.
snap this shot, would you?
Okay.
Yeah. So if every job paid the same amount, I would help young women who are disempowered finding their truth, especially young pregnant women, because I can teach them about how to be pregnant, the energy, mothering, and
That's
all this
beautiful.
stuff.
And what inspires you about that?
I don't know. I've always felt this need to help them.
Yeah.
I mean, I have a thing for helping young men because men in foster care, they get let out at 16, and the statistic is by the time they're 19, they're dead, incarcerated, or in jail, or whatever, something else. There's three things, and none of them are good.
Yeah.
But UNICEF, I heard in the 1970s, it says when you educate the mothers, you educate the world. And so I feel that that's where the change will
That's
become,
beautiful.
right?
And for the young? I'm sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead.
And for the young women who you work with, right, what is the difference you want to make in their lives by working with them?
I want to show them unconditional love. I want to show them the power that women have because, like during COVID, my father was watching the news and he said the world leaders were different. The men cared about the economy and the women cared about their people. And so I think we need to have that kind of more gentle shift, you know?
And what is the difference you want to make? I know you want to share the unconditional love. What is the difference you want to make? If you shared the unconditional love and you supported them, what is the difference you want to make available for them?
Oh, they're going to own it. They're going to know it. Like, so many people are so disempowered. Women, I believe that we're very disempowered, very disenfranchised from very youth, right? We are criticized by our parents, our spouses, our children, everything, and they don't see themselves. And then we have children, and we give up our lives to others, and we forget that we had dreams, goals, and aspirations that we gave up for other people who become teenagers and don't appreciate what we've given for them. And then we get them out of the house, and we only have the short window before we end up having to take care of our parents who are dying. And where were we in all that?
Perfect.
Right? A little girl never dreamt of being married to a narcissist or an alcoholic or being put down. We dreamt of being ballerinas and goldfish and blue crayons, whatever,
So
right?
tell me this. So what is your purpose?
My purpose is to empower women.
Okay, so clap it up for that. So
Young women.
Yeah, so let's play with that, right? So you said something. You said, the first thing you said, when I said if every job paid the same, you said, I would want to help disempowered women discover their truth.
Yes.
And I said, what inspires you about that? And you talked about the challenges and things that inspired you. And I said, what is the difference you want to make? You said, I want to help them see themselves. So maybe my purpose is to help disempowered women see themselves so they embody their truth.
I want to help. Go again. Let's do this.
Yeah, see? Kusudi GPT, I'm telling y'all.
I'm watching for the bouncing ball.
So you said My purpose is, you said, to help disempowered women
to help disempowered women
discover
their truth,
or see themselves, to discover or to embody their truth. To help
that's a good one. That's
to
a
help
good one.
disempowered women see themselves in order to embody their truth.
In order to embody their
So try that on.
I am here to.
So my purpose is.
My purpose is to empower young women to
See
themselves to embody their truth.
How does that feel?
That felt good.
Yeah.
And, and from that, we pay it forward to 1 child, 2 child, 5 children.
Yes.
I don't care.
Yes.
To their 5 children, to the next generation,
Yes.
to all of them.
Thank you so much. This is amazing. Thank you so much. You're more than welcome. You're more than welcome. Do you guys see the difference? You see the difference of what she just said? My purpose is to help women. So when she says, my purpose is to help disempowered women see themselves to embody their truth. Right? There's a different level of depth that when you hone in on your purpose statement, it feels right. And the last thing I'm going to leave you guys is with this, is that, you know, she came up, the first one said, your purpose is, a lot of people look at other people impact, and you want to have that same amount of impact. So I want to help billions of people. I want to help millions of people, but again, if it's not coming from your purpose, then how do you know that's the impact that God has for you? So I remember one time I was meditating and I said, God, show me how many people that I'm here to impact. Like, tell me what's my number. I don't want to just have a million number, a 10 million number, a billion number. Like, show me what is my number. God said, you want to see it? I said, yeah. And if you're still enough, long enough, you will always hear the voice of God. So God said, open your eyes and pull out your phone. So I want everybody to pull out their phone and go to your calculator on your phone. I have 1 minute and 11 seconds. So God said, Google, how many people are in this world? And the number 7.99 billion showed up. So I just want you to type in 7.99 in your calculator, 7.99. And God said, that's how many billion people are in this world. Well, to believe you have a purpose is to believe that something greater than you created you for a reason. So you have to believe in God, the universe, Allah, Buddha, Jesus, whatever that is for yourself. And God said, Google, how many people in this world believe in God? And that's about 80% of people in this world. So I want you to take 7.99 and multiply it by 0.8 times 0.8. And that gives you 6.39. So that's 6.39 billion people in this world who believe they have a purpose, right? But if you Google, according to New York Times and Stanford, 80% of people in this world, they don't know what their purpose is. It's the biggest hidden problem that we face in this world. All suicide, drug addiction, abuse, everything stems from a lack of purpose. It's the biggest problem that we don't talk about. So God says, take 6.39 and multiply that by 0.8. That's how many billion people in this world believe they have a purpose, but they don't know what that is. Somebody tell me, what are the first 3 numbers? Ask me the day I was born. I was born on May 11th. And I got chills. Guys, discover your purpose and let God guide you to the impact you're supposed to make. Let God guide you to the people you're supposed to serve. God has never ordered something that he wasn't willing to pay for. So I know you want the clients and I know you want to build the business, but trust me, when you live in your purpose, God will cover everything. I look forward to seeing the difference that you make in this world. Thank you. Real quick, I want to do one thing. Oliver, come in. This is going to take 30 seconds, I promise. Oliver, so I go around the road and I help people. And at the end, I say, what's your, you guys saw that last time. What's your, and they say purpose, right? So can we just do that super quick? But we don't have the time. So I need you guys to give as much energy at the first go around, okay? All right, Oliver, come here. So I want you to stand in front of me, and then I'm going to start it off, and then you can go behind me facing the crowd, all right? All right, you ready? What's up, y'all? Listen, my name is Kusudi. I go around the world helping people discover their purpose because it's when I discover my purpose that my life transformed forever. But that's a little information about me. I have some friends that have a question for you. What's your purpose? What's your purpose? What's your purpose? Make some noise! Thank you, everybody. Thank you. Thank you, my brother. Thank you.